Saskatoon's supervised consumption site closed permanently. Why the board said the facility was no longer feasible. Remembering a former Saskatchewan Lieutenant Governor, a look at the life of Vaughn Solomon Scoffield. And a Highway 11 rivalry renewed. The Blades and the Raiders get ready to do battle.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight at Prairie Harm Reduction. Saskatoon's supervised consumption site is ceasing all of its services following a financial crisis. CTV's Stacey Hine now on the decision from the board to close all of its services effective immediately.
Prairie Harm Reductions will cease all operations.
That announcement that Prairie Harm Reduction will be permanently closing follows a tumultuous few weeks.
It was, I think, one of the hardest decisions in the lives of many of us on the board to make the decision that we did.
The closure comes just weeks after a significant financial shortfall came to light, resulting in the organization's executive director being terminated. Brady Knight wouldn't provide details about the shortfall, only saying it's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Based on the information that we received, we were not aware of any potential issues prior to early March.
Because of the financial issues, Health Canada pulled Prairie Harm Reduction's exemption to operate a supervised consumption site. The province also pulled $2.5 million in annual funding for its other support services. In a statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Social Services says it paid PHR in full on April 1st to deliver specific services to child and family clients until the end of the month, and was advised of the shutdown a couple of days ago. It says there will be no disruption to youth in PHR's care, as it provided youth housing, adding they will provide alternate care options. The closure also means the 70 full-time employees of PHR will be let go, and the drop-in centre and other family support services will no longer be available.
All that we can do at this point is commit to working as much as we can with our community partners, with the various levels of government, in order to make sure the impact on the people who access our services is as little as possible.
Knight says in the coming weeks, the board will try to see if anything from the organization can be salvaged, adding there are still many unanswered questions without the financial means to conduct a forensic audit on its finances. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Police are investigating two separate deaths in the city as homicides. The latest happened overnight. Police were called just before 4 o'clock this morning to the 500 block of Avenue X South for an injured person. There they found a 39-year-old man who was unresponsive. Paramedics took him to hospital where he was pronounced dead. There was no word on how he died. Police are also investigating the death of a woman found in a house fire on Good Friday as a homicide. Emergency crews responded to the fire in the 400 block of Avenue I South on April 3rd. While fighting the fire, crews found a 61-year-old woman inside the home. She was declared dead at the scene. Her death is considered the result of foul play. Thousands of dollars worth of contraband and electronic devices were seized at Saskatchewan Penitentiary last week. The Correctional Service of Canada says last Wednesday packages containing THC concentrate, hashish, tobacco, cell phones and chargers were seized. The estimated institutional value of the seizure is more than $138,000. CSC says it's increasing measures to prevent contraband from entering institutions, partnering with police to catch people trying to bring unauthorized items into correctional institutions. The Saskatchewan Marshals Service has reached agreements to work with a handful of Saskatchewan First Nations with the goal of improving safety in the communities. The James Smith Cree Nation is the latest to sign a band council resolution to work with the Marshals. The province says the Marshals Service will collaborate with the RCMP, which has jurisdiction to police the First Nation, and will focus on arresting people with outstanding warrants and address criminal activities facing the community. The Marshals Service has also signed these agreements with Montreal Lake Cree Nation, One Arrow First Nation and English River First Nation, with an additional 15 expected to be in place by the end of June. The Marshals are hoping to recruit more Indigenous officers to ensure the service reflects the communities they serve. Well, Jeff, it's a rather melty forecast in store.
It is a melty forecast, but but we're not done with the cold weather yet. But yes, in the immediate few days, we are looking at temperatures that are going to be quite warm in some places, and so we do anticipate a lot in the way of melting. We can only hope that the ground is warm enough and not so solid that it will actually absorb some of this moisture. But we're going to keep this system that's sliding through parts of southern Saskatchewan, not such a big deal in terms of accumulation, but we are going to keep our eye on developing a couple of disturbances for northern areas, because otherwise it looks like central and southern parts of the province are going to be relatively quiet on Friday, a little different for the north, and we'll talk about that later on.
Saskatoon is entering a unique partnership with the Saskatchewan First Nation to encourage health and wellness. The city signed a one-year contract with Kakisaweo Ochapowace Nation, giving members living in Saskatoon access to city-run recreation centers. Drop-in programming will be available at all leisure centers, outdoor pools, and indoor rinks during the year. The discounted bulk admissions have been purchased ahead of time, eliminating the need for members having to pull out their wallet. And with the deal just hours old, both sides are looking at extending beyond the one-year term.
The opportunities, I think, are wide open and endless for us right now. It's the start of an exciting partnership.
George hopes this partnership will flourish in the coming years and lead to things like summer employment opportunities for Ochapowace members. Nurse practitioners are raising concern about Saskatchewan's healthcare system, particularly when it comes to women's health. As Damien Smith reports, it comes as the province looks to recruit more practitioners.
Healthcare for Saskatchewan women continues to be a dilemma, leading many to turn to nurse practitioners.
It's way more complex than people think of how to fix the issue because it's broken.
And as a private practitioner, Yi says the public system has gaps in the number of providers available, as well as time constraints due to short doctor's appointments. Yi offers hour-long appointments, which she says allows enough time for patients to voice all of their concerns and create a plan.
They're telling them these huge symptoms of extreme pain, issues in their cycle, mood issues, hormone changes, and they're not being heard. They're being completely normalized.
Health Minister Jeremy Cockerill says appointment lengths are up to individual practitioners.
Physicians are compensated under a variety of different models in the province, whether they're on a contract or on a fee-for-service basis. Really, appointment lengths are up to the individual practitioner.
In early March, the province opened up another round of nurse practitioner intakes in search for primary care for patients. That deadline passed in late March.
This is not a either or. This is an and conversation that we need to have in our province. We need more physicians and we need more nurse practitioners. I think that's exactly why we've seen a lot of interest in expanding the role of nurse practitioners, but also the availability of nurse practitioners in the province.
According to Cockerill, recruiting nurse practitioners will ensure that every Saskatchewan family has access to a primary care provider by the end of 2028. The latest provincial budget has set aside funding for additional nurse practitioner contracts and is putting $1 million towards a pilot project to enable select NPs to hire additional primary team members to increase access for patients. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan is mourning the loss of a former Lieutenant Governor. Vaughn Solomon Scoffield died in Regina at the age of 82. She is being remembered for her community work and dedication to the military. Wayne Mantika reports.
Lieutenant Governor Bernadette McIntyre signed a book of condolences at Government House as she remembered Vaughn Solomon Scoffield as a friend.
I knew Vaughn from being involved in the community, so I knew her in her role as Lieutenant Governor, and I actually knew her a little bit before that because we have a seasonal cottage at Buena Vista, which is right beside Regina Beach. So I would run into Vaughn, especially in the grocery store over the years, and so yes, I knew and really, really liked Vaughn. She was always so much fun.
Vaughn Solomon Scoffield became Saskatchewan's Lieutenant Governor in 2012 and served in the position for 6 years.
And I think she will make a great representative for the province and the people of Saskatchewan.
The former Lieutenant Governor graduated from university in Regina. She came from a business family, with her father, George Solomon, serving as a founder of Regina's IPSCO steel plant and developer of several real estate properties. She later served as president of the family firm.
it was a construction company, that they grew exponentially, and that I believe they still own properties, and that the family's very involved in the business. And Vaughn served as their CEO for a number of years.
Vaughn Solomon Schofield was also known for her community work and as a supporter of the military. She was the current honorary colonel of 15 Wing Moose Jaw.
I am also quite looking forward to working with the families of the service people who are here on the base. They sometimes get neglected and forgotten, and they are very, very supportive of the military and of their families, so they need a little bit of support from me as well.
Flags across Saskatchewan will fly at half-mast until after a funeral. The public can express condolences online at the Lieutenant Governor's website or sign a book of condolences at either Government House or the Legislative Building. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The city of Saskatoon is remembering the Battle of Vimy Ridge. Flags have been lowered at city buildings today in honor of the sacrifices made during the battle that began during the First World War on April 9th, 1917 in northern France. The four-day fight is considered the bloodiest day in Canadian military history, with almost 3,600 Canadians losing their lives and 7,000 being wounded. The victory at the Battle of Vimy Ridge is considered a turning point for Canada as it gained independence from Britain. The Saskatoon Blades and Prince Albert Raiders are gearing up to face each other in the second round of the WHL playoffs. Players and coaches from both teams in one of the biggest rivalries in the league say they're ready for a big battle on the ice. Jasmine Pelche has the story.
The Highway 11 rivalry has made its way into the playoffs, and excitement is mounting for the upcoming second round WHL playoff series between the Blades and Raiders.
We had a really tight regular season matchup against them, so I'm really looking forward to the games here this weekend and getting after them.
The Saskatoon Blades and the Prince Albert Raiders last went head-to-head in the playoffs in 2024, with the Blades taking the first round series in 5. The last time the rivals met in the second round was in 2019, with the series going to the Raiders in 6 games before they went on to win the WHL title. Prince Albert is Raiders head coach Ryan McDonald's hometown. He knows how big it is to face the Blades in the playoffs.
Now on the coaching staff, being a part of it and being a part of a couple playoff series as well too. And again, 2 great atmospheres, 2 barns that are going to be extremely electric when you go into, and 2 teams that are going to compete extremely hard against one another.
While the Raiders were first in the Eastern Conference to the Blades 6th, the Blades aren't to be underestimated and are ready for a challenge going into Game 1.
But we're a proud group. I think we learned that, and we've been saying it all year, that we can play with anyone in this league when we're at our best.
The Blades have already pulled off a postseason upset, taking the higher-ranked Edmonton Oil Kings to 7 games and claiming the series in overtime. Now, in the second round, facing the Raiders provides that much more motivation.
Every time we play them, we have this fire in us, and it feels real. Like, you really do hate them. You know, you want to beat them so bad.
The highly anticipated second round series starts in Prince Albert, with the first 2 games going on Friday and Saturday at Art Hauser Centre. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Still to come, the latest on the shaky ceasefire in the Middle East, and questions and concerns raised about the latest floor crosser to join the Liberals. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. A flurry of questions today about MP Marilyn Gladue and her decision to join the Liberal caucus. She was a staunch Conservative for years with opposing views before suddenly switching parties. CTV's Abigail Beeman on what both Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre had to say about this floor crosser and the possibility of more to come.
The Liberals are in for 4 long years.
A Conservative so dyed in the wool she dressed up as Death.
Death is not ready for you.
To pump up her election-defeated colleagues a decade ago. A few years later,
my name is Marilyn Gladue, and I'm running to be the federal leader of the Conservative Party and the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Today's Liberal Prime Minister left explaining how the newly bigger tent Liberal Party absorbs Gladue, a social conservative who fought a bill banning conversion therapy for being too broad and said she'd allow MPs to advance bills restricting abortion.
She will vote with the government if there are votes relating to any aspect of that issue, as well as the rights of Canadians to be their whole selves, to love who they love, and to fully enjoy their rights.
Mark Carney is saying to Canadians, your vote does not count.
In BC, the Conservative leader said constituents should be able to have a by-election after a floor crossing, and he deflected a question about what losing 4 MPs means for his leadership.
87% of grassroots Conservatives who backed up my leadership less than 90 days ago to fight for an affordable, safe, and strong Canada. Our mandate and my leadership does not come from dirty backroom deals.
While the newest federal party leader sees the floor crossings as an opportunity.
So they're getting floor crossers from the extreme right, and I don't know what it means to be a Liberal anymore. Canadians need a progressive alternative, and the lane is wide open for the NDP there.
Asked about the possibility of even more floor crossers, which has political circles buzzing, the Prime Minister said in this process he's nearly the last to know. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
On the second day of a ceasefire with Iran, the shaky deal is facing headwinds as Tehran accuses the U.S. and Israel of violating the ceasefire's terms. With more, here is CTV's Joy Malbon in Washington.
Israel blew up bridges in Lebanon in its battle against Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants. Yesterday's bombings in Beirut, one of the deadliest, says the health ministry, killing hundreds and wounding more. Angering Iran, who insists that attacking Lebanon is off limits and part of the ceasefire.
No ceasefire ever goes without a little bit of choppiness. What we have been very clear about is that we want to stop the bombing. We want our allies to stop the bombing, and we want the Iranians to do the same thing.
The Trump administration asked Israel to scale back. Today, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu authorizing direct talks with Lebanon aimed at disarming Hezbollah and bolstering a shaky truce with Iran that still has a grip on the Strait of Hormuz. Video shows very little traffic moving through the critical oil and shipping route, opening it a key demand from President Donald Trump, who issued a new warning saying the U.S. military will remain in Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If not, then the shooting starts bigger and better and stronger. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte says the alliance is working with Washington to keep the strait open. President Trump has repeatedly threatened to withdraw from NATO over a lack of support for his war in Iran.
Some allies were a bit slow, to say the least. But what I see when I look across Europe today is allies providing a massive amount of support, basing, logistics and other measures to ensure the powerful U.S. military succeeds in denying Iran a nuclear weapon.
And those high-stakes peace talks set to take place this weekend in Pakistan. The president telling reporters that he's optimistic, adding that if Iran doesn't make a deal, it will be very painful. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Washington.
Gas prices have yet to return to comfortable levels, and it's having repercussions if you need to get around. Even rideshare drivers are turning down calls if they don't think it's worth the cost of fuel. CTV's Heather Wright now on the ripple effects of the ongoing war in Iran.
Erla Phillips has been a rideshare driver for nearly 10 years, and she has never made less money than she is right now.
It has been really difficult. There's not enough work to go around. And the work that is offered to us is very low paying.
She drives with Uber and Lyft and says the algorithms used by the two companies means some rides only pay out $2 or $3. That, coupled with the high price of gas, means she's flat out rejecting rides that won't turn a profit.
And you were saying that you used to have a high acceptance rate.
At one point, I was 85%.
And now?
Now it fluctuates between the high teens and, 20-something.
Phillips says she's not the only driver struggling. She says some are quitting altogether, while others are losing their cars.
There are drivers that are having their cars repossessed. There are drivers that are going to food banks. I'm one of them, because I can't afford. Not making enough money.
Lyft did not respond to our request for comment. In a statement, Uber says they are giving drivers increased cash back at the pump when they use their Uber Pro card. The intention is to provide relief for drivers and delivery people while rider and consumer prices remain stable and affordable. But some drivers say it's not enough to cover the sky-high price at the pumps.
Can you make money on Uber with the price?
No. And Uber do not increase the price also.
For Erla Phillips, she wants companies like Uber and Lyft to change how they pay their drivers.
This is a service that people rely on, a service that people value, but the companies don't value us. We take all the liability, we take all the expense on our shoulders, and they continue to lower pay.
And this is the reality for many gig workers who are struggling. It's a reminder, Erla Phillips says, to be kind and also tip if possible. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Just over 24 hours from now until Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his Artemis II crewmates splash down off the California coast, completing their historic mission to the moon. The crew has tidied up their Orion capsule in preparation for the return home. They began today less than 240,000 kilometers from Earth. Earlier this week, Hansen and his fellow astronauts went further in space than any human has before, nearly 407,000 kilometers from the Earth before heading back. The crew says there are still a lot of data, photos, and stories that will be shared, but for now, tomorrow night's re-entry and splashdown are top of mind for everyone.
So the spacecraft team and the Orion team, we've been doing an assessment over the last few days with an integrated team from flight operations and all of our subject matter experts here within Orion. And we've reviewed all the systems, we've reviewed all the re-entry procedures and activities, and we are good to go. And so the team's done an excellent job walking through those, ensuring that those systems on board Orion and on the ground are ready to support. Orion remains healthy. It's been working fantastic.
The capsule will hit the atmosphere at about 45,000 kilometers per hour. A U.S. Navy recovery ship is already at sea with military planes and helicopters ready to join the operation. It is a busy time for Hansen and the crew, but they managed to take some time to reflect on the mission.
We have seen just some extraordinary things that I thought we might see. They looked similar to what I thought they might look like, and other things that I just had never even imagined. And those were different perspectives that we saw these things from. But I have to say, it hasn't changed my perspective or the perspective that I launched with. But the perspective I launched with was that we live on a fragile planet in the vacuum in the void of space. We know this from science.
Hansen says the purpose on Earth for humans is to find the lifting of each other by creating solutions together instead of destroying, and seeing it from space reaffirms that.
Hi, it's Craig Bird with the Southeast Military Museum. In conjunction with the Army Cadet League of Saskatchewan, we will be doing a Vimy Remembered presentation at the Parktown Hotel in Saskatoon on April the 11th at 10 a.m. It is free to attend and everyone is welcome. Please come and learn about some Canadian history. So, what is the weather going to be like?
Well, Craig, and I believe you're dressed there as Sir Arthur Currie, the first Canadian commander of the Canadian Corps in the First World War. Yes, learn about some great Canadian history there, and let's see what the weather's going to be like. It's going to be pretty nice. Now, of course, your event takes place at 10 a.m., so it won't be quite 12 degrees, but it will certainly be warm as people come down to the Parktown to take in this presentation about the Battle of Vimy Ridge. Mainly cloudy skies on Saturday as well, and of course, it's taking place at the Cedar Room at the Parktown Hotel. Now on to our numbers right now. We've got ourselves 4 degrees in Saskatoon, 3 in Prince Albert, 3 in the Battlefords. Winds are picking up a little bit in Saskatoon, not as much in Prince Albert and the Battlefords. Saskatoon's almanac for today, well, 4 degrees is as warm as we got. 8 degrees is typical. 22, that was the warm temperature record. Interestingly enough, on consecutive years, there was a tie. That's pretty rare. We don't see that. Now, we see ties, but usually in gapped years, and so this one is no exception. Minus 15 in 1893 and in 1921. And the sun is going down at 6 minutes before 8.
Ottawa deals with turkey troubles, why the nation's capital is in a flap.
Camping reservations open Monday in Saskatchewan. On your morning, we are finding out what has changed this year, what you can expect at parks once you get there, and how to book that site.
Roving bands of bears. That's what I think. No. Just be bear aware when you're in the park, so that's for sure. Right now, still, we got a lot of big blue sky, and looks as though we've got ourselves warming temperatures across much of Saskatchewan as we roll into tomorrow. Talk about that in a second. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. Actually, from really nice conditions if you're heading out to British Columbia. Well, maybe before the middle of the weekend, because things are going to start to get a little rainier there, but it's been quite warm out in BC. Relatively quiet across the prairies after our stormy couple of days there on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we are looking at temperatures starting to warm up. That's good news. So let's take a look at our numbers here. Currently, just to recap, 4 degrees in Saskatoon, 3 in Prince Albert and the Battlefords. The hot spot in the province today was 9 degrees. That was in Coronach. Melfort was the cold spot at minus 14. Around the province we go. Currently, it is 3 degrees in Lloydminster, 6 in Swift Current and Estevan, 5 in Regina, just 1 degree right now in Yorkton. Into central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from 5 degrees in Kindersley and Rosetown down to 1, and that's in Melfort and Wynyard. A lot of places hanging around that 3 degree mark. Up north, well, we do have plus temperatures. That's in Buffalo Narrows, La Ronge, and Sandy Bay, Island Falls. And even when it drops onto the minus side of things, the coldest it gets on this part of our map is minus 7. That's in Collins Bay. Down south, 8 degrees in Maple Creek and Leader and Coronach right now. It's 6 in Assiniboia and Carlisle. And temperatures drop off. I'll look at 6 as well as outlook, but it does cool off as we make our way eastward for the most part. 2 degrees in Broadview, 1 in Melville. Now on to our futurecast. Well, our computer modeling indicating initially the winds aren't very strong, but they do pick up in the afternoon and the early part of the evening, and we are keeping our eye on a couple of disturbances rolling into northern Saskatchewan. Could be snow, could be rain, could be the combo platter. All right, around the province we go for tomorrow. So Key Lake is one of those places that might see a little flurry activity tomorrow. 2 degrees in Key Lake, 6 in La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows, and minus 1 in Stony Rapids. Lots of clouds in northern Saskatchewan. Cloudy conditions in Meadow Lake and Spiritwood tomorrow with highs of 8 degrees in those communities. But look at that, mainly sunny and sweet 16 in Kindersley and Rosetown. Mix of sky conditions in the southwest, but it looks like predominantly sunny skies with temperatures in the mid to high teens. 18 for Maple Creek and Leader. 13 degrees for Regina and Estevan. 15 in Moose Jaw tomorrow. Just 5 degrees in Yorkton. And then as we take a look at east central Saskatchewan, 4 degrees in Melfort, 9 in Watrous, 5 in Humboldt, and Hudson's Bay daytime high 7 degrees. The Battlefords tonight dropping down to minus 8 degrees under mainly clear skies. The winds back off, but they really pick up tomorrow. Mainly cloudy skies and 12 degrees. So that's going to be a real snow melter with those strong winds and warm temperatures. Warm again on Saturday, then 6 on Sunday. Monday, 9 degrees, 13 on Tuesday. But then look at this. By the time we get to 1 week from today, minus 1. Come on. Slight chance of showers with clearing skies tonight for Prince Albert. Minus 7 degrees overnight. Warming up to 6 tomorrow. 7 on Saturday. Sunday, a chance of some morning fog, 4 degrees. 6 on Monday, 8 on Tuesday. But again, really dropping off on Wednesday and Thursday. 1 week from today, minus 3 for a high. And Saskatoon, a slight chance of some showers. That's before midnight, though. Minus 7 degrees, the overnight temperature. 11 degrees tomorrow for a daytime high. So, yes, above seasonal. And staying above seasonal on Saturday. And then cooling off a little bit Sunday, Monday, 14 on Tuesday, but getting cold midweek.
That wouldn't be okay. She wouldn't like if I saw you that way.
Friday evening, the Basement welcomes Barbara Lika and her quartet. Showtime is 8:30. Saturday night, the Basement presents The Fugitives.
I think you came, but you didn't like it home. I think that you should have left me on my own.
Wheatus
This is Cranking It Up Friday at the Capitol Music Club. Saturday, the Capitol welcomes My Son the Hurricane. Sonia Reid is the featured artist as the Saskatoon Symphony presents A Change Is Gonna Come, Saturday 7:30 at TCU Place. Singer Darby Mills of Headpins fame brings her musical autobiographical show to the Broadway on Saturday night. I tell myself I'm a lucky man. Saturday night, country singer Daryl Anderson is back at Bud's on Broadway.
Oh, hey, I didn't know you were too.
Does that feel good?
Yes.
In celebration of National Canadian Film Day, the Broadway is hosting the Saskatoon premiere of Mile End Kicks, followed by a screening of I Like Movies. Seen here in rehearsal, the Live 5 independent theater series presents Assassins, this Stephen Sondheim musical about would-be and successful presidential assassins, runs from April 16th to the 26th at the Refinery.
I can't find my underwear! Oh no!
The Saskatoon Soaps present The Spit, a medical mashup that's short on drama and long on laughter. Friday, April 17th at the Broadway. Discount ticket pricing for healthcare workers and students.
Well, Jeff, I hear you took a trip to the zoo today.
That's right. And yes, I was not sent to the monkey cage.
Yes, there's still snow on the ground, but on June 12th, there won't be any snow, and that's good news because it is the annual Zoo Gala coming up. Donna Warniak, she is the CEO of the Saskatoon Zoo Foundation. How many years now?
This will be the 27th.
The 27th Zoo Gala. It's always a terrific event. And I know you have a different theme every year. What's the theme this year?
Well, this year we want to focus on the possibility of getting polar bears once we start working on the bear's new home. So it's a winter wonderland. There won't be real snow, but you never know.
Well, I'm hopeful that there won't be. For people who haven't been to Zoo Gala before or aren't familiar with it, tell us what it is.
It's not an event. We call it an experience because it's an adult-only night where you get to see the zoo all lit up, entertainment along the pathways, animal enrichments, but then you get to experience exquisite cuisine prepared by top Saskatoon chefs. You get to vote for your favorite. There's silent auction, live auction. There's no speeches. So it really is a night to enjoy the zoo.
It really is a fabulous night. I've been here many times in the past, and it is an absolute fantastic evening. And I know tickets sell out fast, and I know you're getting down to some low numbers.
We are below 80. We just been on sale for a week. So if you want them, they're available at saskatoonzoofoundation.ca, and we recommend you getting yours now because it will sell out.
It will sell out, and of course, you're raising money for the Saskatoon Zoo Foundation. Does such great work here with the zoo and taking care of the critters. So thanks so much.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any critters in Pick of the Day today?
Maybe. Yes, maybe there are. We're going to start off with some snow pictures. We got a lot of snow pictures. We want to try and share as many as we can before things start to melt away and they seem a little weird to show snow pictures. But this one comes to us from Pam in the Prince Albert neighborhood. Apparently, Mother Nature didn't get the memo that spring arrived last week. Yes, that storm that we got. Pam dumped a lot of snow in a lot of places. Certainly, that includes Prince Albert. Thanks for this picture. The next one from Diane also deals with snow. Snow drifts from Tuesday's storm. Dogs are out for a run. You can see the dogs in the distance there. And finally, from Wanda, this is Sunshine, my super cat, in her favorite resting place when she's not jumping over tall buildings. How did that cat get on top of the door? I don't know.
Jumping.
Okay, I guess it is a super cat. Well, there you go. Well, thank you for sharing that picture of Sunshine, Wanda. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can certainly do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. You can scan the QR code to get more information. And please put Pick of the Day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, when turkeys take over, the problem Ottawa is having with a few feathery friends. with a turkey takeover with wild birds running amok in the capital. Their numbers have been growing for years, which appears to have emboldened the animals. CTV's Tyler Fleming reports.
Wild turkeys are taking over Ottawa, or at least for some it feels that way.
There's two toms that are strutting their stuff, yeah, it's mating season.
In this neighborhood along Prince of Wales by the Rideau River, resident Jim Hagerman says around half a dozen call this street home.
There are pets around here, really, but some of the neighbors aren't too happy about them.
I haven't really had that much of a problem with them, but I can understand why people are concerned, because they are big birds.
Pushing past 20 pounds and usually shy until they're not.
They've scared a lot of people in the neighborhood.
This rafter of turkeys are known for some foul behavior.
Go!
Even delivery guys come and the delivery guys are afraid to get out of their trucks.
And turkeys don't seem too fazed, well, by anything. Here they're roosting on an Orleans lawn. And why? Why is the turkey crossing the O-train tracks Wednesday morning? Whether it's bravado or bird brain, residents are getting ruffled.
These turkeys take the cake. They go after people at bus stops. They are by your car when you arrive home.
Ottawa Councillor Riley Brockington says it's time for these birds to fly the coop.
We're at the point, though, where I do believe these turkeys need to be relocated. We are not able to coexist successfully because of how aggressive these turkeys are.
But until the city settles on what to do, here's some turkey tips. Don't try to pet or feed them.
No more bird feeders, certainly for the summer.
If you see a turkey, keep your distance. If you're in a car, roll up the window.
You gotta honk your horn and go at them, and then they'll take off.
If you're afraid of them, I think they sense it, and they'll come towards you. But if you just ignore them, everything's fine.
And here's a fun fact you can gobble up. Wild turkeys are the second heaviest bird capable of flight in Canada. First place goes to the trumpeter swan. And yes, we have those in Ottawa too. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
When we come back, more Saskatchewan farmers will get some help in dealing with gopher control. Then later, a bold escape turns into a highway chase in Thailand.
Do you have a Tupperware hack? We'd like to hear about it. The things we talk about between the commercials. All right. Or during the commercials. All right. Well, we got ourselves some warm temperatures in western Saskatchewan tomorrow. Not as warm in the east. Not often is the way it goes. But look at this. 12 degrees in Lloydminster, 16 for Kindersley, 15 in Outlook. Then into the single digits, but still warm. But cools off a little bit as we make our way towards Melfort. Just 4 degrees there. 7 in Hudson Bay, Wynyard 6. But down south, yeah, it warms up. That's for sure. Almost every location on this part of our map is into double digits on Friday, with the exception of Kenora. 4 degrees above zero, but still below seasonal. But look at this, 18 for Maple Creek and Leader as make our way towards the eastern side. Look at that, still not bad. 11 degrees in Broadview, 12 in Carlisle. And what about Vibank? Pretty nice. Partly cloudy skies, 12 degrees. Winds out of the south, 15, so a mild southerly wind. So things are looking pretty good for Friday in Vibank. And that's where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Power bills across the province are going up for the next 2 years, but before the changes are official, SaskPower wants to hear from residents. Keenan Sorokon has more on the feedback factoring into the decision.
Affordability concerns were front and center once again Thursday, with SaskPower's upcoming rate hike under scrutiny, and it's not sitting well with everyone.
The cost of living is incredible. Give us a break. We can't afford.
SaskPower is obligated to hold meetings and get feedback from the public for any planned rate hike. Electrical bills will rise 3.9% this year and next. That's about $5 a month for an average resident, but far more for northern communities who are having trouble stomaching another added cost.
Look at an urban rate, look at a rural rate, but look at a northern rate in the Northern Administrative District.
Others look to the billions of dollars of future spending and wonder what the future holds as SaskPower plans big expansions to northern mining areas, interties with neighboring provinces, and the cost of going nuclear.
The rate review just seems like the tip of the iceberg of all the issues that I think SaskPower needs to be held accountable for.
SaskPower hasn't raised prices the last 2 years. On top of the large capital spending, maintaining its 160,000 kilometers of transmission lines, its many power stations, and the fuel needed to operate all of that has all been getting more expensive.
It's up about $153 million since our last rate application.
But the Liberty says it's time SaskPower looks at new ways to make ends meet for northern communities being bypassed in favor of mining projects.
There's some people that have $6,000, $7,000 electric bills. They can't pay them.
With extensive plans to modernize and expand the grid over the coming years, as well as the rising costs to maintain what it already has, the panel here heard affordability remains the biggest concern, with electrical bills slated to go up 8% over the next 2 years. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The City of Regina's Chief Financial Officer and Deputy City Manager has resigned. Darren Anderson has given his notice of resignation. Anderson started as CFO in January of 2025, just ahead of that year's city budget deliberations. During his tenure, Council passed tax increases of 7.3% and 10.9%, the two highest single-year increases in its history. The city issued a statement thanking Anderson for his work. Anderson has not commented for the reason for his departure. Health Canada has expanded the temporarily authorized use of strychnine to more areas in the province. A little more than 200 rural municipalities in southern and western Saskatchewan are now eligible to use the poison to combat gophers until November of next year. The province made the request to expand eligibility after hearing from farmers in those areas. The Ministry of Agriculture, along with SARM, is developing a strychnine stewardship program that will be shared once the details are finalized. Construction of the First Nation building project is officially underway. Morella Fernandez with the details.
Shovels are in the ground for the expansion of the Port of Montreal. The Prime Minister was there for the groundbreaking today. His government is providing just over $1 billion to more than double the port's capacity. And Ottawa's Major Projects Office helped streamline the process. The Console Corps build is one of several massive infrastructure projects the Carney government has deemed to be of national interest. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.40. West Texas Intermediate is up to 97.87. Western Canadian Select down over $8 to 71.55. And the TSX lost 142 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is just over $1.72 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.66.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day at $1.5962 and Nutrien dropped $3.02. Coming up, taking the right steps to own a piece of the Eiffel Tower. Then on the run, what had one ostrich headed down this highway?
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Get comfortable and settle in with these top shows all here tonight on CTV. Well, part of the Eiffel Tower could soon be yours. A piece of the landmark's original staircase is going up for auction next month. There are a couple of catches, though. One being that you'll need fairly high ceilings to store it. Made of steel and riveted sheet metal, the section for sale is 14 steps and measures 2 3/4 meters high, or about 9 feet. You'll also need some deep pockets. According to the auction site, it is expected to fetch between $193,000 to $240,000 Canadian. But it's a piece of history.
It is a piece of history, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone purchases it and chops it up into smaller bits and sells it off as, nice little knickknacks.
Possibly. Birthday presents for all.
Why not?
Well, an ostrich is back home in Thailand after making a very bold escape. The pet was on the run on a highway and caused a bit of a traffic jam. Adult ostriches are pretty fast. They can run 70 kilometers an hour, which isn't quite highway speed, but he was tracked down about 15 kilometers from home. We have continuing coverage of birds harassing people and running away.
And birds running away. And didn't we have, what was it, a kangaroo down in the States that was on the loose? And hey, they found him. It's like a kangaroo.
We have all sorts of animals that escape.
It's Critter Thursday. There we go. We talked about Zoo Gala, and now we've got these critters. And the critters will probably like these temperatures as we roll into tomorrow. -1 degree at 9 a.m. But look at that, 4 by noon and mid-afternoon, 10 degrees by 5 o'clock around 9. So it's looking pretty good for Friday.
And like you're our resident critter.
That's what I've been told.
Thanks for watching.